Hi, this is Patrick Good. I'm a teacher at Expand Yoga, and today we're going to go through a practice of using our breath and movement to open up the sides of our body so that we can breathe fully. The way I see it is we're clearing out the river banks so that the water can flow, the water of the breath can flow fully through our body, keeping us open, keeping us clear as we move through these times. Please be gentle with yourself, modify as you need to, and I encourage you to really give yourself to the practice. I found practicing more at home these days, I still feel just as good as I do when I'm at the studio if I really step into it fully. So please join in fully. Okay, so start just by taking a comfortable seat. You can be up on a pillow, a block, whatever you have works. And just take a moment and close your eyes. And just start to notice your breath. See if you can notice it without taking control of it. Simply observing the breath. And begin to slowly deepen the breath. And as you deepen the breath, notice if one side of your torso is inflating more than the other. Or if you have more of a sense of expansion or restriction between the left and the right, or the front and the back. We're not noticing in order to fix something or analyze or figure something out, but just noticing what's the state of our upper body. How does the breath move? Just being curious. Just notice it. Good. All right. So, go ahead, slowly open the eyes. Remove your block. And just go ahead and come right back to downward facing dog. So you're going to place your hands about shoulder width apart, fingertips lightly spread, and feet towards the back of the mat, hip width apart. And just moving the hips up and back, come into a very first downward facing dog. And whatever you really like to do in your first dog. So you can shimmy the hips a little bit, you can pad the heels out, you can bend the knees and lift the hips up. Really the great thing about a home practice, you can literally do anything you want. So explore that. And if you like to use the Ujjayi breath, you can go ahead and begin to engage with that. Small constriction in the back of the throat, creating that audible oceanic sound. Root down through your index finger mounds. Lightly press the fingerprints down. And see if there's a little bit more space now to deepen the breath now that the arms are overhead. And just as we did when we were sitting, notice, does one side of your body feel longer than the other? And remember, a feeling is different than a story. So you may have someone told you that your left rib cage is smaller than the other, or you look in the mirror and one side looks smaller than the other. But just in your body, how does it feel when you breathe, when you sense yourself? Okay, take a breath in. Look 2 feet past your hands. You can walk, hop, step to the top of your mat with your feet 6 inches apart. And coming into a standing forward fold. Go ahead, interlace your fingers behind you. You can bring the palms together. You can have the elbows bent. You can have the arms straight. Really up to you. And let the head go. Rooting down to the big toe mounds. Inner thighs rolling back just a little bit. And then breathe fully into the sides of your torso.
Good, take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly release your hands all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, deeply fold. Good, bend your knees just a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips. As you inhale, lift yourself up to a standing and just release your arms by your side. And just stand with your eyes closed for a moment. Just sense yourself. Just after a few movements, just a couple of breaths, just notice your body. Just notice again, does one side of your body feel longer, wider, thicker, flatter than the other? Good. Inhale, arms up, palms press, together overhead. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, lengthen half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank. Remember, you can always modify plank by dropping to the knees if needed. Good, take a breath in. As you exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Reach back, interlace your fingers, and have your elbows bent. Even if you can straighten your arms, have the elbows bent. Now, reach your toes back, start to lift your chest up, and imagine that you're reaching your armpits forward, and then lift the thighs up. Good. And take a breath here. If you shake a little bit, that's okay. Good. Now, keep your torso lifted, press all 10 toenails down, bring your hands to baby cobra. Good, take a breath in. Exhale, lower down. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. Nice full breath. Good. As you inhale, lift your right leg up and start to roll the ankle. And try to move your foot in a way it hasn't moved in a while. You can shake it a little bit, you can point the toes, you can try to move all the toes. Good, and start to lift that leg up now, stacking the hips, bending the knee. You can take your right heel towards your right butt, you can reach the foot over, and then press down through your right hand as you're doing this, and just notice that feeling along the right rib cage, right waistline. Good, take a breath in as you straighten your right leg out. As you exhale, bring your knee towards your nose, and then place that foot between the hand. And again, if you need to use your hand to get that foot forward, that's totally fine. Keep your back leg straight, lift up to a full crescent lunge, standing lunge. Squeeze the back leg straight, front knee over the heel, and reach up through your little fingers. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, place the hands, lower down, taking a vinyasa. You can modify as much as you need to. You can do full upward facing dog, baby cobra, anywhere in between. Coming back, downward facing dog. Inhale as you lift your left leg up. Start to move that ankle. Again, exploring it like you just got this ankle. You want to see what it can do. Good, then lifting that leg up, bend the knee, stack the hips. Press down through the left hand and just feel what that's like in the left side of your torso and your waist. Inhale as you straighten that leg out. As you exhale, bringing the knee towards the nose and placing the foot between the hands. And lifting up to your full crescent lunge. Squeeze the back leg. Be high up on the toe mounds, as high as possible. And then the front knee right over the ankle. Reach up again through the little fingers. Take a breath in. As you exhale, place your hands down. Move through your vinyasa. All right, take a breath in. Look 2 feet past your hands. You can stop or hop forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deeply fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Interlace your fingers. Index fingers release. Now, I want you to hug your ankles towards each other like your yoga block or balls between the heels. So hug the ankles in, tailbone down, then reach up. Take a breath in, and then push the hips to your left. Just a little standing side bend. Hug the ankles in so you can get a little bit more lift through the torso. Good. Inhale up and exhale. Pushing the hips to the right now. Ankles hugging in, tailbone down. Really breathe into the right rib cage. Good. Inhale up. And exhale, release the hands. Standing forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Move through your vinyasa. Take a nice full breath here. Okay. Inhale, lift your right leg up. As you exhale, step the foot through right between the hands. And then lifting torso up, full standing lunge. Now you're going to take your right hand, grab around your left wrist, left palm towards the ceiling. Push the left hand up, keep the front knee over the heel, and then take a standing side bend and a lunge. And think of making yourself just a little bit longer, all the way from your left heel out through your left palm. Then fill that left side with your breath. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, place the hands. And see if you can do a little hop switch. Good. Lift yourself up, full standing lunge. Left hand now around the right wrist, palm up. Squeeze the back leg straight. Really extend the side of the body. A little standing side bend. You don't have to go far to get the juice out of this one. You don't have to squeeze too hard. The back leg strong. Yeah, full breath into the right rib cage. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, place your hands down and take your vinyasa. Always modify or even skip the vinyasas as needed. Nice full breath here. Good. Take a breath in, look 2 feet past your hands. You exhale, step, hop, float to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Palms together, fingertips interlace, index fingers release. Hug your ankles in, reach up, hips to your left, torso to your right. Breathe fully. Keep the kneecaps lifting, legs strong. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, go the opposite direction. Try to keep yourself squared forward without twisting or back bending. Good. Inhale up. Exhale. Fold. Inhale, lengthen, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands and flow. Okay, so make sure you know the difference between right and left. As I always say, it's the hardest part of a yoga practice. You're going to take your right hand. You can even, before you do this, you can shorten your dog a little bit if needed, so you can play with it. But you can take your right hand to your left ankle, look up underneath your left armpit, and push your left hip away from your left hand. So just a modified downward facing dog twist. Good. And reverse it. Right hand down, make sure it's nice and connected. Left hand outside of your right ankle. Push your right hip back away from your right hand. Look up underneath that right armpit. Good. Inhale. Release that hand back. Good. Inhale as you lift your right leg up. As you exhale, step the foot right between the hands. Lift yourself up, full standing lunge. Take your hands to prayer. Place it at the back of your head. So right at the base of the skull. Keep your elbows pointing up. Squeeze the back leg, lift your belly button, lift your ribs, and then start to press your head into your hands. So a little resistance as you take yourself into a nice little standing back bend, warming up for what's to come. Good, so pressing head to hands. So you can leave your hands right here if you like that support, or you can straighten your arms out behind you. Good. Take a breath in. Exhale. Plant the hands. And now see if you can do a double hop switch. You can do that a few times, ending with your left foot forward. Good. Lift yourself up. Full standing lunge. Back leg nice and strong. Again, hands to prayer, base of the skull. Lift your belly button, lift your ribs. You'll notice as I say lift the belly button, I lift the hips. This is what not to do, right? But you want to keep the hips low while lifting the belly button up. Press the head into the base of your thumbs or wherever your hands are touching the base of the skull to guide yourself with support into standing lunge back bend. Good. Keep yourself here if you'd like, if you feel supported, or you can straighten the arms out behind you. Very liberating for the ribs, for the lungs. Take a breath in. Exhale. Place your hands down. Step back. Downward facing dog. And just breathe. Okay. Step your right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. You can put it off at a little bit of an angle if you need. And again, it's okay if the foot goes off the mat. Walk your torso over to the left. And imagine that the lower part of your body is doing a lunge and the upper part of your body is doing a downward facing dog. So you press down through the hands, reach the hips kind of away from the hands, keep your back leg straight. Good. Bring your hands back. And just do a simple switch, left foot forward. Walking the arms out. Doing kind of a modified hybrid here of downward facing dog with a high lunge. Squeeze the back leg. And press down through the hands, creating length in the side body. And then filling that space with breath. Perhaps you're starting to feel just a little heat in the body, perhaps in the thighs from all these lunges. Good. Bringing yourself back, step back, nice full breath. Really expand the left rib cage, the right rib cage, breathe into the back. Good. Take a breath in, look to your hands, you can step or hop forward. Inhale, lengthen, half lift. Exhale, deeply fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Palms pressed over your head. Arms down by your side. And just take a moment and notice how you feel. Maybe you feel a little altered. Let's do that check. And does one side of your body feel different than the other? Okay. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to take a big step out to a wide stance. So you're going to take your right toes, heels in line, back toes angled in, or back foot's angled in lightly, and you bend the front knee, place it directly over the heel. Just really simple, nothing fancy, warrior two. Soft gaze out over your right middle fingertips. Make sure you're not lifting the shoulders up into the ears, but the shoulders are nice and easy on the back. Just a couple breaths. Good. Straighten the front leg, leave the arms up. Point the left toes out, bend the knee. Just taking your warrior two in the opposite direction. Back leg straight. Right kneecaps lifting up. Left heel's nice and heavy, left toes relaxed. Easy gaze out over your left middle fingertip. Good. Straighten the front leg. Parallel the feet. Now as you inhale, so you can really modify this at home, but again, you're at home, play with it. No one's gonna see you, except for maybe your cats or loved ones. Bend your knees, take a breath in. As you exhale, feet together, hands together. Right? Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, arms out, legs out. Now we're gonna do a modified version of triangle, so feel free to play with the length of the stance. If you need to shorten it, please go right ahead. Back toes angle in, right toes point straight out. So hands to hips just to begin. I want you to bend your right knee and Angle, like point your kneecap towards your right pinky toe, and then squeeze that right leg straight without hyperextending. So nice strong leg without hyperextending. Pull your right hip crease deep into your body. Reach your right arm out. When you can't reach any further, just drop that right hand down. You don't have to grab the foot or anything like that. And the left arm goes up. You can play with moving the gaze. If you need more balance, steadiness, you can look down at the foot. You can look forward. You can look straight up past your left thumb. But do keep that right armpit, or think of the right rib cage reaching away from the right hip. Back leg strong. Now to really open up the left waist, the left rib cage, we're going to bring this left arm out over the ear. And imagine that you're pushing against a wall with your left hand, and you're pushing down through your left heel. Yeah, and then breathe into your left waistline, left rib cage. Really fill that space. Really press. Left heel down, pinky toe edge of your left foot pressing down, and then reaching out, pressing through the left palm. You can play with what it's like to reach the fingertips, press the palm, or press the back of your hand. As I say all the time, this is all made up at some point, so feel free to play with it. Add your own flavor. Good, bring that left hand back to your hip. Go ahead and lift yourself up slowly, and go ahead and reverse it. All right, so again, this side might be a little different, so feel free to play with the width of your legs or the feet. So point that left kneecap towards your left pinky toe, and then squeeze the legs straight. We're doing that to avoid the left knee kind of rolling in. So keeping our left knee pointed straight out. Draw your left hip crease deep into your body. As you start to reach out, really extend. Remember, we're not trying to do a side bend. We're extending the torso. So pulling left hip crease in, reaching out through your left fingers. You find that you just can't go any further. When you're tempted to go into a side bend, just drop your arm. Then reach your right arm up. And then breathe fully. Again, you can play with where you want to place your gaze, where it feels the most comfortable for you to balance and stay steady. And to continue the cleaning of the riverbanks, the sides of our body, from our shoulders to our hips, so we can liberate our breath. We take the right, look forward, you can look up, and then you press. Press through your right palm, press through your right heel, pinky toe side, that right foot's pressing down, and then this left waistline. You'll really be feeling this all through here. So really breathe into the right rib cage, right waistline, fill that space. Keep left kneecap drawing up, right leg strong. Staying very steady. And you can play with the hand, you can reach to the back of the hand, you can reach to the fingertips. What's it like to reach through the pinky versus reaching through the index finger? A lot of us have a lot more free time right now, so you can play. What's it like to reach the index or the pinky or the thumb? Again, play with it. Good. Place the right hand to the hip. Slowly lift yourself up. Good. Parallel the feet. Arms out. As you inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, feet together, hands together. Good. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, arms out, legs out. Point your right toes out. Bend your front knee. Good. Now bring your right forearm onto your thigh. And this isn't weight bearing. It's more of a measuring device. So we're, again, avoiding going into the side bend, but keeping the right side of the body long. Bring your left hand out and over the ear. And then reach through the fingertips. Press the left foot down. You can modify as much as you like. If you'd like to take the hand down, you can do so. If you'd like to take a bind, Go for it. Just breathing here. Back leg steady. You can look up past the hand, up underneath the armpit. Again, making sure you're not slowly dropping and putting all your weight onto that right thigh. Good. Inhale, lift yourself up and reverse it. Good. Play with lengthening or shortening the stance as needed. Left forearm onto the thigh, sweeping the arm out over the ear. You can look underneath the armpit or reach through the fingertips. Good. Press down through the right foot. Left toes relaxed. Left heel's heavy. Low belly in lightly. Make sure you're not taking yourself into a back bend. And see what it's like to reach through the little finger, through the ring finger, middle finger, index finger. Good. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale. So you inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, feet together, hands together. Very nice. So, a few more standing postures here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, plant your hands, step back, move through your flow. Might feel very nice not to be on your feet for just a brief moment. Okay, so you're gonna take your right knee outside of your right hand, setting up for a pigeon, but don't go right into a folded pigeon. Have your back toes tucked. You can walk the hips back as much as you want. You can bring the foot in towards the center line if it's too much for your right knee or your right hip. In other words, modify as you need to. Good. So I want you to press down through your knees, really anchor them into the mat, and then hug them towards each other. They won't actually go anywhere, but they hug in. You see when you hug in, the hips lift up a little bit. Now you can stay right here if you need fingertips to stay grounded, or as we did earlier, you can take that prayer, place it to the base of your skull, press down through the knees, press your head into your hands. Take yourself into a supported back bend. And it's supported because we have these hands at the back of the head. You can press your head into your hands and then breathe into the space just below your armpits. Really open that up. So easy for this space to get collapsed and cluttered and tight. You can stay right here. You can reach the arms out. Very celebratory shape. Good. Bring the hands back. And now, I want you to come forward, and again, modify as much as you need to. You're going to reach your hands out. So it's another hybrid kind of shape. The upper body is doing downward facing dog. The lower body is in pigeon. So press down through the fingertips, through the index finger mounds, and then reach the hips back. They won't go very far because they're very planted into the ground. And then press the hands down. Good. Slowly lift yourself back up. Now you can keep the hands in front of you. You can be up higher, but you're going to bend your back knee. Take the left hand back to your left heel or ankle, grabbing on the inside of the foot, and draw that foot back towards your butt, and press your foot into your hand as you draw it back. Trying to keep the torso forward as much as possible. So I'm pressing my foot into my hand and pushing my foot towards the butt. Good, release that foot. Sit onto your right hip and bring that left leg around. So now your left leg is out straight, right leg is bent. That sole of the foot is towards the inner thigh, heel's kind of towards the groin. You're going to turn to face the outstretched leg. Press down through the heel a little bit, pull your left kneecap towards you, spread the toes out lightly. Good, and just take an easy fold, first with no arms, just really reaching your belly button, your ribs forward. Now if you feel good here, if you have a strap at home, you can use a strap on the foot, You can take a hold of the foot. You can take the right hand to the outside of the foot. I like having this left hand out even if I'm holding the shin, so I can press down here just to keep my torso towards that outstretched leg. Little left hand helper here. Good, just slowly, just allowing the body to deepen into the fold. Good, now take your left hand. This is where left and right is going to get really tricky. So your left hand, take your index, middle finger, and hook it underneath your Achilles tendon. Forearms along that inner shin. You can also just put your hand there, or if you're more up here, just modify as you need to. So I've got my index, middle finger underneath my Achilles. I'm going to take my right hand to my hip. Now I'm turning my torso forward. I'm going to imagine from my right hip, I'm going to make a rainbow with my right hand all the way over to my right foot. I'm not trying to grab the foot. I'm just making that kind of trajectory. Good. Now left ribs forward, right ribs back. Good. Keep light heel pressing, or left heel lightly pressing down. Good. And then reaching through your right hand. Good. Now, because you're feeling so good, you place that right hand to the back of your head, and you slowly, just a little bit, press your head into your hand, open that right elbow up towards the ceiling, deepening the opening in your right waistline. You're going to feel about 5 to 6 inches taller after this class. All this waistline work, lengthening and opening up, gives you a sense of feeling taller. Good, and then keeping that right upper arm bone where it is, extend out once more. Good. Now very slowly, carefully, turn to, staying low, turn to face that outstretched leg. And you may notice that you're significantly deeper into that forward fold. You may notice that. Good. Slowly lift yourself up. Good. Cross your heels. And then you're going to switch or transition into a downward facing dog however you want. You can do that through a flow. You can hop the legs back. You can just step back any way that works. Good. And take a breath. And then just notice for a moment, notice right side of your body versus the left side. It's a big remodel we just did. So just notice what that's like. Good. Take left knee outside, left hand. Play with the stance that you need to have in order for this to work for you. So you can sneak the back knee right a little bit. Good. All right, so taking the hands outside the hips. You can push your knees down. So again, knees down, hug them towards each other, and you'll see the torso lifts a little bit when you do that. So knees down, hugging in. You can stay right here the whole time if needed. If you have that stability, you can reach up. Hands to prayer at the back of the head. And I'm slowly pressing the head into my hands to support myself as I go into a really strong back bend. Yeah. So keep knees hugging in, heart lifting, head pressing into your hands. Really powerful shape. So you can keep your upper arm bones right where they are, and then reach the arms back. Open up the torso. Breathe fully. Good. With control, coming back. And slowly bringing your arms forward into that downward facing dog pigeon hybrid. So imagine a dog mixed with a pigeon. And I guess this is what you get. So pressing down through the hands, index finger mounds down, reaching your hips back. And just breathe fully. You're pressing down, reaching the hips back. It's not exactly passive. My forehead's not really on the mat. I'm not hanging out in kind of a sleeping pigeon shape, but I'm really engaged down through the fingertips, finger mounds, hips reaching back. Good. Slowly walk yourself up Torso's upright again. You can bend your back knee. Take hold of that foot from the big toe side so that the shoulder can stay open. Then drawing that foot towards your bum, and the foot's pressing away. You'll notice if there's just a little bit of engagement, if the foot's pressing back, you'll get a deeper opening to the right quadricep, front of your thigh, maybe even up into your abdomen. Just a little press back from the foot, but ultimately the hand will be stronger as you bring your heel towards the bum. Good, slowly release that. So you're gonna lean way over, sit onto your left butt. Give yourself lots of space, bringing that right foot around, right leg around. So sole of the foot, of the left foot's towards the inner thigh, and right leg is outstretched. Turn to face outstretched leg, and then just start to easily fold forward. Think belly button towards your big toe, torso forward, so we're not rounding in any way. There's an extension of the spine. So remember, you can stay right here. You can play with using a strap or a shirt, whatever you have around. You can take the left hand to the outside of the right foot. Again, using this right hand to press down through so that I can turn my torso towards my outstretched leg. Just giving yourself a little bit of time here. Pulling the right kneecap towards you, pressing through the big toe mound. Good, now you're going to take your right index middle finger underneath the Achilles tendon. And again, you can modify, you can if your torso is more up here, you can simply just place the hand down, let it rest there on the inside of the shin. Good. Now, left hand, left hip, you're already starting to open your torso up more, so the shoulders begin to stack. You press through that right big toe mound, right kneecap towards you, and start to make that rainbow from your left hip all the way over towards the right foot. And then reaching through the fingers. Again, the aim of this practice is to open up the left side, right side of the body so that we can breathe fully. And just notice, this side may feel a lot different than the other side. And that's all right. So really reaching through the fingertips, keeping right leg engaged. Now you may feel fantastic, you can stay right here, or you can take, or if you feel really, really good, you can just take that hand back to the back of the head and then slowly press the head into your hand. You'll see that'll guide you back just a little bit. You know, you'll notice if you come back just a little bit more, even just a centimeter, it's going to deepen that sensation, that stretch, that opening through the left rib cage, left waist. Again, keeping your upper arm bone right where it is. So you can reach out. And then breathe into that space you're opening. Good, and then keeping the torso low. Start to turn to face outstretched leg. And again, taking this single leg forward fold. You may find it's just a little bit easier now that we've spent some time in it, that we've opened up the waist. You can hold your foot however you'd like. Just taking a moment here. All right, slowly lift yourself up. Lightly cross the ankles, and again, you can rock forward, plant the hands, take yourself through a vinyasa. Again, in your downward facing dog, notice the change. I often prefer to take, doing yoga as taking medicine. When you take medicine, you take it in and you go, how am I a little bit different now? What is this doing to me? What effect is it having? Just right now, notice what this yogic medicine is doing to your body, to your mind, to your breath, to your emotional state. Good, take a breath in. As you exhale, you can just drop down to your knees. Crossing the heels, bring your legs out in front of you. Okay. So we're going to do just a couple reverse tables. We're going to do them today with the fingertips pointing back so that we can really externally rotate the upper arm bones. So bending your knees. So ideally, we're going to want our knees right over our feet and our shoulders right over our hands. I may or may not achieve that, but we'll see. So press down through your fingertips, finger mounds, and externally rotating the arms. It's like the hands are wanting to turn in towards each other. You never want to stop that external rotation because we want to keep our shoulders up, on our back, chest open. Good, so you're going to press down through the feet, big toe mounds down, and lift the hips up. Good. If you feel like you need to lengthen it, you can. You can walk the feet forward. Now squeeze the seat, press down through your finger mounts, fingertips, lift the hips. Now if your hips get to the same height as your knees and your shoulders, you can take the head back. Here's the thing though, once your head is back, do not lift it up until your butt is on the floor, right? So press down through the hands, lift your sternum up, the breastbone. Imagine it lifting up towards the ceiling. Arms externally rotating to protect and strengthen the shoulders. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower the butt. Notice that the butt touches, and then the head comes forward. Now, if you can, leave your arms exactly where they are. This is a really powerful bind on your shoulders. It'll be very liberating. Okay, press down through the feet. Inhale, lifting the hips. Squeeze the seat, lift the chest. Press down through the finger mounds, fingertips pressing down. And then the head goes back if available. If this bothers your neck, it's totally fine to leave your head up. Now squeeze the seat, lift the hips, lift the heart. Breathe fully. Good. Slowly lower the hips. Then the head comes up. One more time. Inhale, lift the hips. Squeeze the seat, lift the chest. Then the head can go back. So really imagine that the whole torso is lifting. You're breathing in. Feel the side bodies. You take an inhale, exhale, lowering the hips. You can extend the legs and then bring the arms forward. You may notice some sensations all through the shoulders as you're releasing the blood flow back to the arms fully. Again, liberating, like a dam being broken. It's so good. All right, so we are very much prepared for some back bends. And as we often do at Expand, we're going to offer modifications. So I'll show a bridge pose, then I'll do some wheels. And whatever back bends you decide to do, you could even come into a camel if that's part of your practice. Try to do 3 of them if it's available because you're warmed up for it, so why not? Okay, so if you're going to do bridge, bend your knees, soles of the feet to the floor, feet about hip width apart, and you want to have just a little bit of your heels touching the fingers, so just a whisper of the heels on the fingers. Now press down to the big toe sides of your feet. You can have your elbows bent. You can also hold on to the sides of the mat. There's so many modifications you can take. But you're going to start by lifting the hips and then walking the shoulders in towards each other just a little bit. So you can stay here with the hands pressing down to the arms. You can also interlace and bring the shoulders towards each other even more. And lifting up, full bridge. Breathing here. Tone through the back body, back of the head lightly, pressing down like your chin is trying to get away from your chest, but it can't get anywhere. Your torso, sternum moves towards the chin. And if it's available, I really like to lay down on the arms and then just take a nice full breath, really opening up the torso, continuing our good work here in this practice. All right, so you can do 2 more bridges. If you'd like to do wheels, you can go ahead and do some wheels. I'll guide us through the first one. So you're going to place your hands, fingertips pointing back, hands. I go a little bit wider than shoulder width. And I'm going to take my armpits and exaggerate. I'm going to press them down. So armpits down, like somebody just dropped some bowling balls into my armpits and it's rooting them down. Then I press down through my feet, press down through my hands, armpits down. I come to the top of my head, and I'm going to take my armpits back again. So I really get my shoulder blades onto my back. And then I press up. So my shoulders are really on my back, and I really open up the torso. And I do a little bit of rocking. Just really bringing the heart through. And slowly coming down. Release the arms for a moment. We'll allow time for just one more back bend. Feels so good. I'm going to do another. So again, armpits down. Lift up lightly to the head. Armpits back now towards your heels. And then with all that power on the back, press up. Even play with lifting the heels, rocking back and forward. Play with walking the feet out. Really play around. Why not? No teacher there to stop you. Good, and then slowly coming down. Good, bring your knees over your hips and start to make little circles with your knees over your hips. Just massaging the low back, the sacrum, left hip, right hip. Good, bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. You can rock left and right. Coming into just a brief happy baby. Pushing the hips down as you draw your thighs in towards the floor on the outside of your ribs. Yeah. And if there's any last minute motions that you like to take, go ahead and take them. One more squeeze in. And making your way into Savasana now. Yes, just making yourself comfortable in Savasana. So you can put a prop underneath your knees, a pillow, a cat, whatever you have around. Just make yourself comfortable. Closing the eyes. And the last active thing I'll ask of you is to, just for a moment, squeeze every single muscle in your body. Scrunch your toes, squeeze your hands, squeeze your chest, pull your belly and squeeze your butt, squeeze your thighs. Every muscle in your body like you're about to Hulk out. Really hug in, hug in, hug in. All the muscles in the face, squeeze in. Really squeeze, 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 squeeze. And all at once, let it all go. Really let it all go. Nothing left to do or hold on to. Practice is complete. Now the practice of surrender, of receiving, letting the breath do what it does. And similarly to how we began practice, just being in that space of noticing your body, noticing your breath. Being in the practice of awareness, if your body begins to tense up, to constrict while in Shavasana, usually all it takes is just a noticing for that to ease, for you to let go, especially through the eyes and the jaw, the shoulders, the hips. Just letting those areas be completely passive. And feel free to lay in Shavasana as long as you like. And it is such a great practice to extend gratitude to anything, anyone, any event that enabled you to be on the mat at this time. So just infinite gratitude for what it took to be here. All right.